Good afternoon, Evan. How are you?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure.
It's like a Friday for me, so I'm going to be in a good mood all day.
No, I get that. I feel the same way. I'm just surprised that you went back to the B word.
The boring word?
You had retired the B word for a couple weeks. Obviously, the Yankees had this incredible winning streak.
Yep.
The Yankees have flown completely under the radar over the last couple of days. Barely a peep about them.
Yep.
And all
for a
of
couple
sudden,
reasons, obviously.
No, and I understand
One,
why.
they're playing on the West Coast, so you don't watch the games because it's so late. Thank you. 2, because of all the Met nonsense.
I get it.
Yeah. And 3, because the win streak came to an end. Like, if the Yankees were going for 18, the Yankees would be front page, back
Plus,
page,
I think
red
it
hot.
was logical for, hey, they're going to lose a couple of games. You're not going to win every single day. But it took a 4-game losing streak for Craig Carton to whip out the B word.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I've not watched every pitch, admittedly so. I've fallen asleep during a lot of these Yankee games.
You're missing a couple of double plays.
I have tried to watch the Yankees.
Morning track fly balls.
The Yankees basically pulled the Mets of a week and a half ago. 5 double plays they hit into. The clutch hitting disappeared. Again, granted, we're talking one series. I don't want to make this more than what it is, but it's one series where you went from, hey, we won 13 straight. Maybe we actually do catch Tampa. Maybe the Yankees do win the division too. There's no way they win the division. Now, that's partially because they lost 4 in a row and partially because Tampa's won 9 in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
they just don't quit.
They have effectively, since their winning streak began, because really that winning streak began right after the Field of Dreams game, they've lost ground. Now, obviously, they've lost 4 in a row, but of course they won 13 in a row before that because Tampa Bay's played lights-out baseball. The good news is this. As we sit here welcoming in one of the best months of the year, September, the Yankees are still in the driver's seat. Despite this 4-game losing streak, they're driving the vehicle to the postseason.
Yeah, I agree.
So despite, the dreams were winning the division, who wants to deal with the wild card game? It's very stressful. It's very exciting, but it's very stressful, and anything can happen in one game. You look at the schedule upcoming after they win today, which they better with Garrett Cole on the mound.
By the way, you know how that goes. They're playing against a guy who's his first major league start.
Packy Norton.
Historically, they've been stymied by guys like that.
But this is why Garrett Cole's here, for games like this. Not just a big postseason game, but to snap a losing streak kind of game.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I was most concerned about with the Yankees over the losing streak? It's not the double plays. I think the offense will be fine. Giancarlo, for the most part, has been hot despite a couple of double plays yesterday. Here's what would concern me, and I'm not doing this to pick on you. I'm being honest. Jamison Tyone has not been that same dominant guy over his last few starts.
No.
And you wonder, okay, for a guy that has not thrown many innings over the last couple of years, which Jamison Tyone are we getting in September and potentially the postseason?
Yeah, it's a good question. And listen, the last couple games, they've been beaten on 2-strike home runs. You know, guy hangs a slider, doesn't get his fastball in the right spot. Happened again yesterday, early. They also let Ohtani still home. I think he's the first pitcher to ever still home in a Major League Baseball game. He's just that good. That's what the guy does.
He wasn't a pitcher last night. He was a DH.
But he's a pitcher.
Okay.
All right. So to me, it's just, listen, you're going up against the greatest player of all time. There are going to be moments like that. I'll forgive the Yankees a loss here or there, but 4 straight's 4 straight. And now they're 8 games out. And again, if you told me Tampa was going to play 500 ball, could I concoct a way for the Yankees to win the division? Sure, we can go through the math of it.
They do have a soft schedule in the Yankees. I mean, they welcome in the Orioles this weekend.
But it doesn't matter because Tampa's not losing. These guys don't lose.
I know.
You know how frustrating it is to be chasing a team that does not lose?
Yes.
The Yankees are 13-4 in their last 17 games. They've lost ground.
No, I get it. In any other division besides the NL West, the Yankees are either in first place or they're right there.
They're 20 games over 500, and they're almost double digits out.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. And they traded half their team away, either before the season started, during the season.
Dude, I don't know.
They don't care. You know what they are? What? I think about who they're like Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Oh, you're one of our best players, or you have a big name, people know who you are. You're gone.
We can replace you.
You're gone.
And they seem to trade guys at the right time. I mean, like, let's get rid of Blake Snell right at the perfect time.
Yeah.
I don't know how they've done it at 84 and 48, but here's your focus over the last month. You actually brought this up 2 months ago. You were ahead of the curve.
I typically am, Evan.
And that was get me to the wild card.
Yes.
The Yankees in a wild card game in all likelihood, will be able to set up their rotation, and they will be able to throw Garrett Cole out there. There is nobody in a potential wild card game, not the Red Sox, not the A's, not the Mariners, that can match that.
I agree.
You have to feel very good
I
about
do feel good, by the way.
hosting a wild card game, which the Yankees have done 3 times now. They've won 2 of them, and having the guy you want on the mound in that game.
And
because
listen,
that's your destiny right now.
Let's be honest. We're looking Yankees Red Sox right in the face right now.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
The Red Sox are dealing with a COVID outbreak. They have not been playing well. You may be looking at the less sexy Yankees A's, though for many Yankee fans, that's sexy enough because you have confidence you'll beat them.
I have confidence whoever they play in that game. It'll be at Yankee Stadium, I think, that the Yankees will win. But listen, it's funny how things happen. That's just baseball season, where 2 days ago, the Mets were dead and buried. Mm-hmm. Every fan buried him, so it's not like you did something untoward when you said they were DED dead, right? Mm-hmm. They had a major scandal on their hands with a player that nobody likes.
Major scandal.
And then 48 hours later, or whatever it is, 36 hours later, that player scores the biggest run of the year to win a game they have no business winning. They've put together a little win streak, and all of a sudden, they're 5 games out and back to having a pulse. The Yankees win 13 in a row. They're the best team in baseball. Yeah. Nobody wants to play them. They're winning games in different ways every different night. They're stealing bases, laying down bunts, playing the kind of ball that young, aggressive teams play. And then all of a sudden, they go to Anaheim, and none of that exists. They lose every single game they play. And rather than be 2 or 3 games out of first place, which is the direction this thing was going in, they're now 8 games out of first place. And if you wake up tomorrow and you're a New York baseball fan, the Mets are closer to first than the Yankees are. Now, that really doesn't mean anything at all. Much like when the Yankee fans said, oh, we've got a better record. And the Met fans said, oh, we're in first place. Fun for us to have that conversation because that's what fans do at sports bars. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. The reality when you wake up today, and I woke up today with a big smile on my face.
Why?
Because I'm always in a good mood nowadays.
Oh, okay. That was it.
It's September. I love September.
I do too.
And I know in my heart of hearts that the New York Yankees are going to be playing in what they refer to, I believe, still as the Fall Classic. I think they still refer to that as the Fall Classic.
Wait a second, we're jumping to the World Series now?
Oh, yeah.
So they wait a second, you went from boring baseball at 2:02.
It has been boring.
I'm bored. They're struggling to, hey, don't worry. We'll be in the World Series for the first time since
the
09.
Yankees have problems. Okay. Let's not pretend like they don't. 5 double plays last night. Suddenly the offense is all dried up.
Jamison Tyone with a couple of bad starts in a row.
Yep, Tyone.
The manager with some questionable decisions, which we'll ask him about.
Like Kluber the other night. Yeah, listen, they're not a perfect team by a long shot. They do get Glaber back. I guess this weekend at some point, it looks like.
Against the team he loves to play in the Orioles.
Yeah, they're playing Baltimore. Listen, you and me and your baseball squad over there at Whitey Ford Field could beat the Baltimore Orioles right about now.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
you know what? I don't like that you said that.
Why?
Because let me take you back to Memorial Day weekend.
Please do.
Craig Carton on the radio to the manager of the Yankees, as the Yankees were preparing to play the Detroit Tigers, said, and I quote, well, you guys will sweep the Tigers this weekend. And the Tigers proceeded to sweep the Yankees. So as bad as the Orioles are, they're 41-90. They're awful. I get it. They just had a losing streak that went on forever.
Yeah.
Don't do that again to the Yankee fan.
Well, when's Aaron Boone on today?
4:30, I think.
All right, good. So there you go.
You're going to tell them, hey, we're going to sweep the Orioles.
How many games are they playing against Baltimore? 3?
They got 3 games this weekend.
So that's a 4-game win streak. Right, bang. You win 13, lost 4, won 4. All right. Let's get ourselves back in.
I mean, there's a part of me that admires your confidence. I do respect that.
What's there not to be confident about, right? I mean, they are the Yankees. They are in control. So they're not chasing the wild card.
No.
They own the wild card right now.
I would be very confident, despite this 4-game losing streak, that they are going to go to the wild card game, obviously. I think what's disappointing is that in the midst of that winning streak, there's a thought of get me to 3 going into that final weekend against the Rays. Give me a shot to win the division because, look, the wild card game is fun. But it's also one of the most stressful experiences you can have as a fan.
But I love it.
Do you?
I do.
Did you love it in 2015?
Well, I wasn't a Yankee fan.
You weren't a Yankee fan.
Yeah. I think I love the wild card. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's great for the sport. It's great for us as fans. Now, you and I, obviously, for a long time have disagreed on the notion of Ajita is something I love.
Yeah, I hate it.
I love playoff Ajita. Evan hates it. Evan likes blowouts. Okay, we're just fundamentally different in that regard. So I love the fact that November 5th, it appears to be the date, that at 8 o'clock in the Bronx, the New York Yankees are playing a win and advance, lose, go home.
October 5th, yes.
Did I say November?
Yes.
I apologize. That's
Sure.
when they win the World Series. October 5th.
That's what I thought you meant to begin
Yeah,
with.
I apologize. October 5th, a Tuesday night in the Bronx,
Yes.
all lights will be on the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
And that's how I like it. And I got no worries at all that they'll come up big that day.
No, and I understand it's exciting, it's amazing, but wouldn't
Yeah.
you rather not play that night and await the winner in the American
Well,
League
of
Divisional
course I
Series?
would. But I don't shy away from the agita of what amounts to a Game 7 scenario.
Sure.
I like it. I embrace the nail biter. I love the nail biter. I'm not a nail biter, but I love the nail biter.
I will love the nail biter too because my team isn't in it.
Right, you have no vested interest.
I'll be at the wild card game. I've been at every Yankee wild card game.
Well, I'll be at the wild card game.
I will be, yeah.
Well,
I will.
You're not a Yankee fan.
I'm a baseball fan, and what I've done in the past is I purchase tickets. I don't need a freebie. I purchase tickets, and I go to the wild card game. I've been at all of them. 15, I was there. Yankees, Astros, Dallas, Keuchel. 17, I was there. Yankees, Twins, a little shaky in that first inning, Luis Severino. And then, of course, the following year against Oakland in the building.
Let me ask you
I'm a
this.
wild card game whore, Craig.
And who do you root for?
I sit there very politely.
Yankees, Red Sox, October 5th wild card game. Who does Evan Roberts root for?
I root for myself. I have a good time with my scorebook, and I watch.
You just want a quote-unquote good game?
I root for a good, entertaining, good, clean baseball.
You don't root for the New York Yankees in that spot? And I'm assuming the Mets are not in the playoffs at that time. Like, so you have nowhere else to go to watch baseball. Right.
Fair.
So you go to the Bronx, you go to Yankee Stadium, you do buy your tickets. No one's ever going to say you don't. You're
Thank
not
you.
a schnurr at all. And you sit there, and you probably bring a friend like a Big Mac or someone who, loves the Yankees. And it's your way of kind of giving to them for their hard work because they don't make a S-ton of money here other than the $12 shrimp escapade. And you sit there, and it's, I don't know, bases loaded 3-3 in the 8th, 2 out, Stanton's up. Are you rooting for Stanton to get the big hit and win the game? Or would you rather see the Yankees go down?
You want an honest answer?
I'd rather you not lie to me.
I'm not going to lie to you, Craig. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to anybody. There's a part of me that sits there and says, boy, it'd be so much fun to have the Yankees have a run. Get to talk about baseball. I love baseball. It's great. But when I'm in that building and I got guys like C-Mac around me and guys like Craig around me, the natural reaction, like my DNA, just naturally roots for the other team. Wow. Just the way it's been.
Okay.
Just the way it is.
So you're on record. I'm not putting words in your mouth. Should the Yankees play the Red Sox on October 5th in the wild card, not only will you be in the building, you'll be rocking the Red Sox.
Wait. In fairness, can I?
Just we're on the same page.
So I, on my own, traveled to Fenway Park in Boston for Game 2 of the American League Divisional Series between the Yankees and the Red Sox in 2018, you may recall.
Yep.
Did a Saturday show there and went to the game. By myself, no one else. Being surrounded by Red Sox fans caused me, I'll admit it, Met fans, I'm sorry, that when Gary Sanchez parked one over the Green Monster, do you remember that in Game 2?
Of course, who doesn't?
Evan clapped. I was like, yeah, stick it to these dumb Bostonians.
All right.
So I think it's kind of that me against the world mentality. Like when I'm in Fenway surrounded by Red Sox fans, my natural reaction was to just root for the other team. So in fairness, yeah, I think if I'm in the building, Yankee Stadium, got C-Mac to my left, I got another Yankee fan to my right, my natural DNA reaction will be to root for the other team. But in fairness, I've done the same in Boston.
Well, we got a lot to do today. You're a diehard baseball fan. If you're a Met fan that's off the bridge and willing to consider the possibility, bring it. If you're a Yankee fan, either way, you're upset about the 4-game losing streak. You don't really pay much attention because you're on the West Coast and you know they're going to be fine. Where are you at right now? 1 month to go before the baseball gods will determine where the Yankees and Mets are. 877-337-6666. Great story coming up about my main man, Garrett Cole, that I think is very relatable. And for a guy that makes the kind of money he makes, there's very little that would be relatable about him. There is a cute little story today about him in a truck that makes him actually relatable. Because he's not a relatable guy, personality-wise, money-wise, wine-wise. but he became relatable with this Toyota Tacoma story that I read today. So we'll tell you about that. We got lots of football today as the Jets and Giants and all teams obviously yesterday got down to their 53-man rosters, and you're learning more and more guys that are not going to be with the respective football teams.
Some peculiar moves, might I say.
So we'll get into all that with you. And so much more. Traffic games, of course, coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. We got both managers on today, and we get ready for the Yankees trying to at least get one win against the Angels, against Packy Naughton. Just by rule, you can't lose to a guy named Packy Naughton making his first start.